There we go. And we're back, people. The man, the myth, the goddamn legend.
And the bitch that just follows behind him.
Hey, we should put that on a shirt as well, shouldn't we? Fuck yeah.
I feel like we're going to have a lot of things on a shirt.
Well, you see, I feel like we need something better than a shirt.
You think?
Yeah. I'm feeling like badges or stamps or something, you know?
The fuck is going on in there?
Ooh, someone's having a party.
Someone's having a party. P-A-R-T-Y?
Are we invited?
I don't know, and I'm sad that we're not. Maybe, do you want to know why? It's probably because we're two creepy people sat at the bottom of the garden with a microphone and a laptop.
When you put it like that, not as desirable, is it?
No, not really.
Interesting. So what is this going to be? Maybe episode 3, TBD?
This is episode 3.
Episode 3.
Episode.
Did we come up with a name?
Hang on, let me get my phone because it had a.
Well, we didn't really decide what we're going to talk about. Let's just roll and we'll decide a name at the end.
Okay.
Let's just see where we end up.
Yeah. Okie dokie.
So what's on the agenda?
Okay. Our biggest thing that we were going to talk about is how 50 Shades of Grey is the worst thing that ever happened to BDSM.
Oh my goodness. Why, yes. Yes, it was.
And I feel like a lot of people are going to concur with this.
I would hope so. That book, can we even call it a book? You know, binded toilet paper? Is that appropriate?
That's insulting to Cushelle.
Oh my goodness. I was thinking like Poundland's Saver menu.
Yeah. Did I tell you about the fact the other week my mum bought some toilet paper and I went down to her and I said, this is absolutely disgusting. I am not wiping myself with this. It felt like sandpaper.
Sorry, hold up. Your mum's buying budget toilet paper when she's out buying Mulberry bags on the weekend.
Literally.
That bitch. No wonder your dad's trying to like keep an eye on her
I
money.
know,
Like,
right?
She's not taking care of the home. See, needs to keep his woman in line.
You try and tell my dad that.
But like, listen, Tobin, you come here, man. All right. Listen, you come here, fam. Yeah, you need to fucking keep your bitch straight. All right. Don't know how they're breeding them down these parts, but where I'm from, we keep our women steady. You feel? Step to me, bruv.
Yeah, no, I think that 50 Shades of Grey is bound in just shit. Yeah,
well, it was. Correct me if I'm wrong about its origins. I never really dove too far into it, but am I not mistaken in that she basically just wrote a really shitty smut book?
She wrote. So originally, it was Twilight fan fiction.
See, I was going to say that, but I didn't want to sound like a dick.
Originally, E.L. James, I think her name is, wrote it as Twilight fan fiction. Kind of, and then just kind of built upon it, really. And what we got was, do you know what? I read a lot of smut. I read a lot of smutty books, and don't get me wrong, they aren't well written. This is even worse. This is even worse.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I never read the full books. I did watch the movies. Trash, but I did watch them, just to say culturally relevant. I think the main issue that I take with the entire premise is, at least as I understand it, is the movie. And you've read the books, correct?
Read the books and watched the
movie. So you can correct me if I'm off on my characterization or summarization of the movie in how it lines into the book. But correct me if I'm wrong. Christian Grey is a really wealthy guy who's a little bit twisted, not kinky twisted, actually just a bit twisted, severely damaged, trauma-driven individual who isn't able to engage in any form of healthy relationship, romantic or sexual, so is taken to purchasing women that he can just then use to funnel through his trauma out onto someone else, because he used to have the same thing happen to him as a kid.
Yeah.
Annabelle, or what was her name? Anastasia?
Anastasia.
Thank you, Anastasia. Is, at least as she's presented in the movies, some supposedly intelligent, supposedly smart girl who's like got her shit together, right? Because she's a career-driven woman, but then who also somehow just stumbles into being this guy's punching bag and emotional, like.
And bearing in mind, she's a virgin. She's never had sex before, you know. She's never even really kissed a person until like she's met Christian, you know.
Yeah. So.
But you know what, There's so much to unpack with Anastasia and Christian, just so in terms of their relationship. The biggest thing about Christian is that he is a sadist. He is a sadist, but actually, what he has got is a shit ton of mummy issues, because the reason why he picks Anastasia is because she looks like his mother, and that's the running theme through a lot of his stuff, is like the subs and stuff like that he has, and I'm saying subs in air quotation marks, are people that look like his mother.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Damn. But the whole thing, it presents, it creates a narrative around what BDSM is that couldn't be further from the truth. You know, like remotely.
No.
Like, to me, even if we just pick apart what you just said there, right? Christian's a sadist, Anastasia's a virgin. I've never met a sadist who wants to take some virgin girl, bring her to his house, completely take control of her, warp her, and, as our good Lord Andrew Tate would say, imprint on her.
Yeah.
That's just fucking twisted.
It is.
That's not normal.
Because you know the part in the movie, obviously, like, it's the first time that he goes over to, like, you know, that she has sex with him and stuff like that. And what bothers me about the whole thing is that, like, he kind of guilt trips her a little bit.
You took the words right out of my mouth, and again, my memory is somewhat vague.
I feel like we need to go and watch, like, at least watch like the first one after this, just to understand.
Oh no, I'm not giving it that much of my time. I'm quite comfortable to just throw my opinions out there like spaghetti and see what sticks. Fuck it, we'll do it live. But the way I interpreted her entire development and entry into the kink space and the things she ended up doing for him, and let's be clear on that, for him, not for her, were all driven out of, at first, her curiosity, and then in the end, her wanting to do things because she loved him.
Yeah.
Right? Now, to me, that's not a healthy relationship. That's not a healthy sexual relationship when it comes to anything kink or lifestyle based. You know, that's not how things should be. It should be two consenting, informed adults who both share similar interests in the way that they like to express themselves sexually, building a dynamic or a situationship or whatever it is together. Not a guy having all of the power, all the control, all of the money and influence, and then a girl falling for that, and then effectively just slowly changing who she is to fit the mold of what he wants. That, to me, I wasn't aroused by the movie. I didn't find that attractive. I wasn't like, oh, let me get an Anastasia. The whole thing just made me feel actually quite sad.
Yeah.
And it made me feel quite sad for her as a character watching the movie, angry at Christian as a character, and then when I walked out of the cinema or wherever it was I saw it, I ended up just being annoyed at whatever her name is, ELSE something, whoever the fuck her name is, I don't really give a shit. I ended up being annoyed at her for putting that out and propagating that as A, BDSM, and B, an acceptable way to treat someone.
Yeah.
You know? And it gave all of these young, impressionable girls, not just young ones to be fair, because it was a craze all up and down the fucking nation and the world, but it gave all of these people who didn't really have an insight or any knowledge or education around what BDSM is, a very squinted view, and then had them dive into the arena. Now let's take a step back and examine the impact on us as actual kinky people. It floods the market with people who think they know what they are, couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah.
And then leaves us to deal with it. On my side, I end up with fucking girls who say they're submissive. I get 3 days into a conversation with them over text, and then the idea of me spitting them in their mouth and slapping them comes up, and they're like, oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, oh, what about pinning you down and, you know, pulling your hair and fucking you from behind while you scream? And they're like, oh, I don't. I'm like, you haven't even dove in, or even just talking about the basic tenets of being submissive, right? And understanding that.
We were talking about this on the train, and I said same thing to you from a sub point of view. As you know, we were talking about whilst we were walking around Glasgow, and I said, you know, you meet guys who are like, oh yeah, I'm really dominant and everything like that. As soon as I want you to slap me and spit in my mouth, and for me to call you daddy, oh no, game over. Game over. That's too much.
Low value individuals, ladies and gentlemen. Low
You
value.
clearly don't want to imprint on me.
Couldn't even if they tried.
No, couldn't. It's impenetrable fortress. But it's like I feel like what people have seen, the vanilla people that are still vanilla in this world, what they've seen is just not an accurate representation about what actually the kink community is.
it could not agree more. And even outside of that, for me, the one that really I think is an issue, because that I can live with, right?
Yeah.
If people just have a misunderstanding of what I'm into, that's okay. The bit that actually causes me concern is that it has given the wrong impression around what being safe is,
Yeah.
what being comfortable, aware, knowledgeable, consensual is, and on both sides, for young guys exploring being dominant, that sets just the wrong precedent. And then more importantly, for young girls diving into that arena, or women of any age, but mainly young women who are impressionable nonetheless, right? Diving into that, it has set them up to have an unstable self-worth and to not have the consciousness and confidence to articulate what they are and aren't comfortable with, and quite frankly to be putting a bit too much power in the dom's hands from the offset, potentially. Again, as the narrative has been presented by Christian and his latest mummy. So that is what bothers me. I don't like the idea of girls being out there thinking that it's okay for guys to push them like that. No means no, not in some cliche way, right? There are boundaries and limits and lines drawn in every dynamic that should not ever be crossed, right? And they're set by me and you in the dynamic, right? In the moment. And there's no talk about that in the movie, or correct me if I'm wrong, in the books.
Yeah, no, so what really bothers me, and I tell you what, I know this is like, I know this doesn't make for good movie, right? But, so, it's at the point in the movie, I don't know why I remember this part so well, but I think I remember it because it grated on me so fucking much, is the part where he shows her his playroom, you know, his red room, whatever the fuck he wants to call it, and she's like, nah. She was like, I've never had sex before, everything like that. And he basically just like sweeps her off. And he's like, come on, we're rectifying this situation. And she's like, how the fuck am I a situation? Where's the consensual conversation to make sure the fact that this is okay? Then he wakes up the next morning and is all shitty with her because he slept in the same bed as her. You're just guilt tripping that poor girl. You've just taken her virginity. The next night you're going to beat the living shit out of her. And she's only had one dick in her.
And talk about escalation, right?
I know.
Talk about escalation.
That's like,
0 to 1 fucking million.
that is like, genuinely, that's like having sex with someone for the first time, and then the second round is like, oh, by the way, I brought the knife for this round.
Literally, right?
I brought a fake gun for this round. Also, I have a story to tell about a fake gun. But anyway.
We'll dive into that. to finish off on this point, right, you know what I would have loved to see? And you said it doesn't play well for the movie. And I disagree there, because I'll paint you a fake movie scene that they should have done, right? She expresses interest in A being with him and B going down that path, and then it's like a montage scene. He sticks her in an egg chair, spins around, and starts asking questions of a clipboard, right? And it's basically him building out the sort of the borders of what she could or couldn't be comfortable with, and he asks her a bunch of probing questions. Then he takes her in the room, shows her different things, she plays around with them, it becomes a bit of a joke, right? You know, of this and this, and he educates her on everything in the room, and then they go and they build up slowly. That could have been done in a 5-minute montage, right?
Because the thing is as well, there's a part in the second movie where he doesn't like to be touched in certain places, like on his chest and stuff like that. Now, if that is something that you don't like happen to you, that is something called a limit, my friend. And he gives her a contract of all of this shit and everything that he wants to do to her. What about the things that she wants to do for him? What about her being able to touch his chest? What about her being able to kiss him and everything like that? All of those sorts of things. Have you ever seen the movie Secretary?
I haven't, and Sergi, and I'm going to have to jump in and speak for the Toms out there. You're there to be used and abused and enjoyed, not to be pampered. I'm only teasing mostly.
But it's like,
I do see your point.
There's limits to each dom and sub, what they are actually prepared to do.
I'd like to pick up a point there under the scene you described, right? Because if I'm not mistaken, he expresses that, and her way of resolving the situation was to get a Sharpie and to draw lines on him of where he didn't want to be touched, right? And that was her idea. That was her solution. When he has displayed that right there is the perfect way to deal with a sub. In the inverse, right, despite her being the sub, right, to deal with a limit, right, exactly how she handled that in the movie. But we're seeing that from the virgin, non-experienced sub-girl. Granted, not at that point in the movie, but we're seeing that from the sub. A, from the sub, and B, from the amateur. Where have we seen any of that from Christian?
Yeah.
You know, any of those tendencies displayed, and it annoyed me because they had the ability to show it in that scene and demonstrate the behaviour, but didn't replicate it and have it be there for Christian, which means they're aware of it as a concept, but then they just don't see the need to actually represent what being a dominant guy fairly and correctly is.
But then it also comes into Anastasia. There's a part of it in the first movie. I'm pretty sure he does outline with her that he doesn't like to be touched, like in his sort of chest, abdomen area, right? And she just keeps going for it. And that's not respecting the limits. That is not respecting the boundaries.
No, I'm going to push back there. She's a virgin.
Fair enough. Yeah.
She's horny. She's excited. She wants to touch him. Of course, she's not going to have that awareness. It's on him for the way that he is constructing the situations in which they are getting romantically involved, and it's for him to have patience with her, and it's for him to actually educate her about what a limit is, about what her doing or not doing certain things to him does, and to show the same interest and the same energy back to her. That's how you get someone developing self-awareness, is they become aware of themselves first, right? You can't be considerate of someone else's feelings in the bedroom unless you understand what yours are. She's fresh. He's picked her out of the fucking street.
She doesn't understand.
She really doesn't. We just had a massive rumble in the bush there. That was a bit fucking much, wasn't it?
Probably a fox or something. I
Genuinely, I hope it's just a cat, but it's a bit too big to be a cat.
We'll find out.
We will indeed.
Puma.
Doing it live. It's a puma.
Actually, like a puma.
It's muy caliente.
That's my
right.
Don't call me. It's like anything to do with like if a guy calls me kitten, I say I'm melted. Anyway, moving on.
Oh, I love calling a girl kitten. It's one of my favourite things.
Oh, don't.
You know, curl over in the morning, kiss your cheek, whisper it in your ear as I slowly slide inside you.
Oh, don't.
Grip your throat, you know what I mean? You're already half conscious, you slowly sort of start to drift back and just let me use you. The perfect way to be working up every morning.
Oh, yeah.
You see? Find yourself a daddy who cares. Put that on a fucking t-shirt.
Yeah. Do you know what I want it to be? I want us to get to the point where our stuff is being sold in damaged society.
Oh my god. Oh, Gina, I think I just found our brand name for the sub stuff. Damaged Kitten.
I was going to call it Daddy Issues.
Yeah, that's for the guy stuff. Oh, interesting. Right, maybe we'll have to do a little bit of market research here. Oh, no. We'll roll it back. Hold on a minute. These are all excellent. These can all be different product lines or releases, right? Interesting. Yeah. Because the reason I like Damaged Kitten is it could be DMGKTTN.
Yeah.
And that would go great on stuff, and it's not too overly bold on the branding. Actually, an interesting point, we've been talking a lot about putting it on a t-shirt, because A, it's a great thing to say, and just B, I think a lot of our phrases would look great on t-shirts in general. However, I do recognise that a lot of the stuff we're saying, while, okay, maybe I'm underestimating the market or people's enjoyment of it, just A, from this, and just B, in general, I'd wear that privately, I'd actually wear that publicly, but I recognise a lot of people wouldn't. Now, what I don't know is whether or not that would stop them buying it in the first place, or they'd be like, I love that, I'll wear that when I'm not around, when I'm around the right people.
Yeah.
And outside of that, I think it would be really lovely to get our stuff on. I'd love to have branding for clothes and apparel that was subtle.
Yeah.
That's why I like something, doesn't have to be Damaged Kitten, but something like DMG, KTTN, like a nice...
Yeah.
More than just two initials or something like that, or a symbol, but it's like, yes, that's Gina and Jamal.
Yeah.
Oh, that's them. Yeah. As well as the more novelty line of t-shirts. I would love some of these phrases like engraved on driftwood.
Yeah.
Painted on stones from the beach. Things like that. That you could have around your house or in your, wherever is comfortable for you. Because I hate like that. Cliche live, laugh, love stuff. But I do like stuff that is like me, so I would have something on my wall or on my mantle that was kink orientated. A lot of the things that we've been talking about designing, I would actually have myself. Now granted, I wouldn't have everything we're ever going to design, because that would just be, actually I probably would, fuck it.
We would.
I'd have everything, her whole, fuck your red room, Christian, talk about a red house.
Me and Jamal
play Monopoly, son.
Me and Jamal have got plans to live together. And I think our whole
Park Lane and Mayfair.
yeah, oh, yeah.
Always pass go.
Oh yeah.
In the Defender.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
In the Defender and the G-Wagon.
G-Wagon, oh,
Yeah.
lovely.
But we got
That's when I'll know I've made it, right? When I'm fucking my wife in the back of the G-Wagon.
Yeah.
I'll call you afterwards and be like, the eagle has landed. Daddy's home.
That's fine. That's fine. If you're doing it in the G-Wagon, I'll do it in the Defender with.
That's it. That's what I'll say when I finish for that time. I'll look out over. I'll do it at the beach. Someone. I'll look out over the ocean and be like, Daddy's home. Make it like coincide with the day she comes off birth control, so we can start properly having some fun. You know what I mean? Like, let's fucking go.
Well, it's like that thing, isn't it? It's like you'll be
Genghis Khaning it.
You'll be married, and I'll be with like this like
Guy number 742.
contestant number 3. Come on down. That's what it's gonna be for me, and it's gonna be like this fit Italian guy, and he's like, Miss Gina, don't worry, just
It's like, see, Paolo.
see Paolo, just shut the fuck up, yeah.
Shh, Paolo. You pay to look good, not to talk. No.
No.
Not speaking. No. Shush.
Ciao bello.
I'm gonna try and make that a thing, and again, I might put this on my t-shirts, but I've decided that I'm gonna rename and sort of reclassify a breeding kink as Genghis Khaning it.
Yeah.
You know, like the Genghis Khan effect.
Genghis Khan at a
Right?
point.
You know, it's in you because this thing is not a breeding effect. It is you and your genes, son. Most of you have come from that man that just spread his seed across the earth. It's biological. It's primal. It's, you know, let's go out and have some fun. Safe fun, but fun nonetheless. I'm so excited to act for the day that I'm actually with my wife. I'm not actually trying for kids, and I actually get to fuck all the time and come in there, and it's actually going to come to something that's magical. That's going to be amazing. But before then, I'm just happy to just have a lot of practice.
Yeah, I'm just. This is my thing. I don't really want kids, but I'm certainly getting the practice in for it.
Oh, you are.
But then this is my other thing as well. We said I don't want kids, but every single time we've gone around like seeing like kid stuff, I'm like, oh, this is so cute for a little kid, and I don't want them.
No, I know you.
I think I scare children. I think they're scared of me.
Real talk. I think that you are only just waking up to who you are, and in that portion of yourself, and where you might be in 5, 10, 20, 50 years, and what you want to do with your life. You don't have any idea what you want.
Nah.
And that will all come and change and grow, and that could happen in the space of 6 weeks. I'm not saying, years to figure out who you are. You know, that could all come, but you've started on a beautiful path and a beautiful journey, and quite frankly, give it time. You know, who knows? You know, don't even think about what you might want then, because you're still figuring out who you are now, and what you want now, and where you want to go now.
Yeah.
And as we can both attest, we're actively both experiencing where the path takes you when you follow it, right? And sometimes following it's not following, but existentially when you submit to the fact that there is, at least in my humble belief, synchronicity in the universe. We are all one, and if I stop fighting myself and the energy around me and just focus on being me, being present and being now, the rest will actually take care of itself. And when I stop trying to put my own manifestation on it, my own energy, my own spin, my own print, my own insecurities, the exponential growth, success and happiness that has occurred from that, and meaning, more importantly, is through the roof. You know, I actually go back and forth with it. You know, like I would real talk. I always wanted kids, but after Joelle, I genuinely don't know. Still, because I haven't had a serious relationship since her. You know, I've had encounters with people and romantic encounters, but they've, you know, haven't been successful. I genuinely don't know if I will ever be able to trust someone again, not at a base level, but you know, I mean, like deep, you know, in their trust. And when it comes to having kids with someone, and I'm not painting Joelle in this, right? But that relationship and it ending the way that it did, it's caused me to
retreat a little bit.
And when I think about trusting, it's not even trust. When I think about being confident enough in the fact that she loves me and wants to be with me, to take that step. Well, man, I thought I was there before, right? I spent a year. We'd already been together a year, but a year with year and a half of her thinking that everything was good and that she was in love with me, and then,
Yeah.
oh, actually, surprise,
Mm.
and all is well. No malice. It's bigger picture and more complicated than that. That's a cereal box summary, but that has genuinely caused me to sort of, as you said, retreat and just feel more apprehensive about building that sort of connection with someone. And I basically got divorced at 24.
Yeah.
I'm still reeling from that, at least financially, and
Yeah.
sort of, it took me a long time to rebuild, as you know. And when I think about getting to the point where I am that involved and that entangled with someone again, while on the one hand, all I'm really looking for in my life is good people and my soulmate, and I can't wait to find her. But on the other, I'm like, oh, I legitimately really thought it was her, Gina. I really, really did. And for me to have been so certain in that and how much I felt that, and to basically what that means is either I was right and I've lost her, which I don't think is true, or I was wrong, in which case my judgment and my thing, it's like, if I was wrong about that, I could be wrong again, right? And it just gives that little, it's the not knowing. She basically wasn't honest with me for a very long time, subconsciously and partly consciously, and I don't know how secure I'd be if I'd actually put that, because I'm good now, I'm happy, I'm confident, I love myself, I've got my people, I'm fixed. I've got my person, genuinely. I'm fixed.
Yeah.
Truly, I'm healed, I'm whole. But when it actually comes to whenever my actual next relationship is, as opposed to a rendezvous, fuck knows what I'll actually feel and how I want to dive into that.
I mean, my sadness is the fact that I'm 23 years old. I've never been in a proper relationship. I'm 23 years old. I've never been in a proper relationship.
There ain't nothing wrong with that, my love.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but the me not wanting kids thing is because I've never had anybody that's made me want to have them.
And isn't that my point? Don't write the story before you even have the chance to see if you want to follow the path. And in terms of you not having that relationship, well, hey, sweetheart, there's a lot of things you haven't done yet.
No.
Right? And there's a lot of things about where we start and the things that we go through in our lives that hold us back to where we want to be.
Yeah.
Right? And by that same logic, you could sit there and go, I'm 24, I haven't travelled the world yet. And I'm 24, I haven't done this and this and this yet. Right? You are 23 and you have the whole world ahead of you. You're not carrying any major baggage. Right? Outside of you, let's be clear there, ladies and gentlemen. You're not kind of carrying anyone else's baggage, is the point I'm trying to make, right? And you have the whole world ahead of you. And more than that, okay, let's put it this way. You haven't had a relationship, and would you or would you not say that you are in the best position possible now to go into a relationship, and specifically after your rendezvous with me, and us building our friendship and the effect that's had on your self-worth and how you interact with people, I would actually say you now have the tools, the sword, the shield to go out there and be in the dating world, the romantic world, to let yourself be loved and hurt, to have those boundaries and to still be whole and you. If you'd had a serious relationship before now, it would have taken from you and taken from you deeply. Trust me, I can attest to that because I've been through it myself, several times now actually. I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum, right? 2 long-term relationships through my life, both took from me. I was not me whole in them or out of them. And I've only just gotten to that now.
I feel like when me and you got together, when me and you first met and we got together and everything like that, and then obviously we broke up. When we did, I remember kind of sending you actually quite a nice message along the lines of thank you for actually showing me what I deserve. Because we didn't.
I remember that.
We didn't have a horrible breakup.
No.
We didn't have a screaming match or anything like that. Actually, it was a very civilised, mutual conversation at the end of the day. I never begged you to stay with me. I never begged you to do any of those sorts of things.
Look, it was a shitty situation all round, right? And we both felt really bad about it all round. And neither one of us particularly, neither one of us wanted to have gotten there Neither one of us wanted to be in that situation, and neither one of us, despite me ending it, wanted that to be the outcome. All right,
No.
we were both on the same page about that. It was just like, right, shit, and we both handled it with grace.
Yeah, we
You
did.
know, I didn't want to hurt you. I hope I wasn't mean. You know what I mean? There was no fight. There was no arguing. There was no animosity or negativity or hatred. You know, want to hurt one another. And you know,
It's absolutely dead now.
rinse it, you absolute bitch. But yeah, it you know, it showed you in some ways, to summarise and to maybe just humble brag, that you are fabulous and you do deserve to be treated right, and you are enough as you are, who you are, and on your own. You know what I mean? And you don't need someone. Someone else is adding to you and you to them. You know what I mean? And the way I've seen you interact with different opportunities and rendezvous across the last period of time has shown me that you really have grown on that front, you know, and grown as a person as well. And look at where you are professionally, look at where you are with your relationship with your family and the boundaries you've set there, the vision and the goal that you have with me for the businesses, and you know, and what we're going to go out and do, and then everything else that you're going to go out and do. So I've you say I'm 23 and I haven't had a relationship yet. I'm like, oh babe, you're 23 and you've got, funnily enough, quite a lot of shit figured out now, and the whole world ahead of you, and you are now in a position to be able to be of service to the people in your life, to accept more love in and give more love out. Beautiful, you know. You're only 23. Some people never figure that out.
No.
Ever. You know, we've all watched and you can feel it in them, right?
Yeah.
So you're awake and you're ahead of the game. You know?
I mean, I told you that I deleted my Tinder and everything.
You did indeed. I was clicks for Gina.
The reason why I deleted my Tinder and I put it into the best possible way that I could articulate at the time was that we are going to go off and do so many things, and I didn't want to stop that for a person.
That hit me deep when you said that, actually. A for you as a person, in everything else that you've gotten to there, I was like, fuck yeah, Gina, you know, genuine clicks for Gina, man. Big on you.
That was my little show to Jamal, the fact that I'm into this. I'm
and then on my side it was like, right, okay, shit, like she's in. What it really was for me is it was touching, because obviously we've been talking a lot over the last period of time about our vision here, and what it really showed me is that, just like with everything else we've got going on and our knowledge of each other, like, you get me, you see it the way I do. Do you know what I mean? And it went, when you said that and you were like, we're going places, we're doing things, it was like, yeah, she sees it, you know. We've been talking, not just she's in, you know, she's going to give it a go, and you know, she wants to, not just she's along for the ride, she's actually like, nah, you know, let's fucking go.
I'm inputting in this, you know.
Yeah,
we're doing this.
And to be able to give it a swing. And then, so for me it was like, yeah, fuck yeah. And then there was
the other part as well. The other reason why I deleted Tinder, we talked about this today, was because of what my nan said about me.
Oh. So
this is a little bit of a backstory. I've told my family to never listen to this because they'll be disgusted by me. But so I was told by my little cousin, and I call her.
Hi, Mum.
She's 15. She just turned 15. Took her out for her birthday the other week, and I was with her dad, my dad, and my mum. Right. We went to go and get dessert after the cinema. And my cousin Lily blops out. We're talking about boys and stuff like that. She's just got a boyfriend and everything's all new and fresh and stuff like that. And she blops out with the fact that she spoke to my nan, her nan, and my nan said the fact that I'm picky about men. That I don't want to go out with anybody, that I don't date anybody and everything like that because I don't like them or I'm too picky about them and blah, 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 blah. And I turned around to her straight away and I said, no, that's not being picky. I said, that's called knowing your worth.
100%.
Simple as that. You know?
I mean, you didn't necessarily up until now, but nevertheless.
No.
Who the fuck? Right, first off, your granddad needs to keep his woman in line. She can't be going around chatting that sort of shit about the family, right? To the family, to young impressionable women that haven't had a good solid man come along and imprint on her yet. Lily doesn't need your fucking woman, your grandmother, having opinions, Gina. You know what sort of precedent that
No.
sets? You don't want to be teaching a 15-year-old girl that old
Just
women can
settle.
have opinions. No, that can have opinions. What are you fucking chatting about? He needs to get his woman in line, Gina. She can't be out here fucking talking. What do you mean she's talking to the children? She can't be fucking
I know, but
spreading
apparently she's just
that new
telling me-
wave feminism.
Apparently she's just telling me to settle.
Well,
Apparently she's just telling me to take. I'm like, fuck that.
yeah, fuck, wow, poof, shit, man.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm great at taking it, but
Bedford, time to settle.
do you know what? That actually perfectly encompasses Bedford.
It really, really fucking does, man. And the mindset and the energy there of the people, they're just like, no one cares enough to try,
No.
you know? You care enough to try,
Yeah.
you know? Fuck your grandma, man.
Yeah. You know, it was interesting. All right, there was something that we were talking about on
You'll be laughing when she's paying to keep warm this winter.
Yeah. When I put her in that fucking nursing
Yeah, I
home.
bet you should be fucking chatting then.
Yeah.
Where should be for her opinions in fucking January.
But I was talking
Enjoy your last fucking women.
But yeah, it's like I've been on this journey. So when I said to Jamal, I was like, I've just deleted my Tinder. He was like, oh fuck.
Genuinely,
You know.
that's the equivalent of a heroin addict being like, I just threw away the needles.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, man, she's in.
And the thing is with me as well, I've been on and off Tinder for 3 years now, something like that, for quite a period of time. And it's not healthy. It's not healthy for me, personally. I feel like I'm all or nothing with Tinder. I'm either on it all the time and completely, utterly addicted to it. It's the same thing with Fab. Fab is one of those things, I can forget about it for a month, 2 months, and then be on it every couple of fucking hours because I've discovered it on a Sunday night again, you know.
Yeah.
I remember my login, how to get into it.
And at first you just check it on the Monday after work. You're like, oh, Fab.
And you laugh at some of the messages that you got.
Yeah,
and
that have
stuff
been
like
sat in
that.
there. You know, you do a little browse, you maybe send a few messages, and then you leave it. And you maybe check it Wednesday. And then before you know it, every morning you're on there. You know, you're sending messages.
Fab is
you're
busy
active.
at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Mate, Fab is always active. You know,
Fab is busy
at
at 6 o'clock in the
6.
morning.
Literally, I'm not even joking. And there'll be times where, same as you, a month goes by, no Fab, and then there's times where literally I'm up with my coffee and my ciggy, fucking in the DMs. You know, and like it isn't healthy. You're right. And here's the issue I have. Obviously, with Tinder, I am completely with you, and actually, I think I'd advise anyone to follow suit with you there. Just pull out of Tinder. It's not good for anyone. But with Fab, it's the only access I have to appropriate online dating for what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
you know,
me too.
online interaction,
Me too.
right? Obviously, there are alternatives for it. I'm not saying, you know, and other, what did it become, Field or something like that? It changed. You know, and all, you know, there are other options. I'm not saying they're there, but in my personal experience and history, none of them are actually solid.
No.
Fab works. It's got good people on there. It's safe, etc. But it's tricky because if I pull out, I'm not seeing or trying for anything or anyone, you know. And if you stay in, then you keep getting sucked in, you know. And there's no way to balance it.
I can't tell you how many times, especially with Fab, I've deleted my account and then reopened it.
Right. And here's the thing about Fab, and this is going to sound like I'm just being some scatty. Oh, you know, I'm worrying, but it is very easy to get lost in the Fab messages. So if you're not on semi-actively replying to someone and they're a semi-active user, you will just drop down, you know, and far down, and there's no way to memorize, and the usernames are quite difficult, you know what I mean, and not everyone's got a profile picture, and then, you know, you can just get lost in the sea, right? And it warns you before double messaging, so that's not encouraged, you know, to pop back up. So the bottom line is, unless you are active or memorable, you will just get lost. So you can't afford to just have a chat with someone and then, you know, disappear for 3 days like you might do on WhatsApp or Instagram, knowing that they'll come back to you when you reply, right? That's
can't do that on
you
Fab.
can't do that.
It's like hyenas.
You will lose opportunities. It's like genuinely, it's hyenas. You have to be active and in it. Right, Fab isn't the same as Tinder or other things. It's more. Fab is only on when you're on the court.
Yeah.
You know, you can only
Mhm.
You can only shoot when you're on the range.
Yeah,
You know that there's no
definitely.
off time.
Mhm.
Well, at least for guys, I find.
Yeah.
For girls, maybe obviously you'll have more messages on your profile when you come back to,
Yeah.
but still, again, the same. You know, in terms of you seeking someone, you've got to fucking be there, and you've got
Yeah.
to put in the hours and the work. And right, there's no notifications for Fab.
No, it's
right.
actually insane.
So let's just be clear on that. So you have to be fucking in there.
You have to be getting in there every
refreshing,
day.
which makes having conversations really hard, or you're just active all the time, which isn't a good look to put out,
No.
and isn't a good place to be.
No.
Right. So it's very difficult to have
It's
conversations.
nothing like I've done it before. Like when I've started talking to somebody,
Mm.
and we switched like WhatsApp or something. There's that little person in me that just wants to click onto their profile and see when they were last active.
Yes. Okay.
And I'm like,
Total white girl thing to do there.
I don't care.
Didn't even know you could do that. That's why I paused there.
Yes.
I'm not in the loop.
Yeah, click on their profile. It tells you when they were last active. Like 9 minutes ago, active now. You know, active 3 days ago, whatever it is, and stuff like that. It's a very interesting tool to use. You know, it's a very interesting tool to use.
Interesting. You know, another thing about Fab, and this is very circumstantial, but obviously it's a website, and it's got Fab swingers at the top. So there are times where I can't open that on my desk to check. You know, I'd have to go and specifically be in an environment during the day where I
Sit in
can
my car
actually
during my lunch
sit
break.
in your car. Versus, heck, you can get into Tinder messages pretty incognito. Do you know what I mean? You could open a Tinder message at work.
I feel like opening a Tinder message at work is kind of
It's perfectly acceptable.
perfectly
You know, it's
acceptable.
perfectly acceptable.
And do you know what? I could be responding to that message saying, please choke me, spit in my mouth, and slap me.
Yeah.
But because it's on Tinder, it's socially acceptable.
Absolutely. Fuck. Grindr, man. Same thing. Grindr. Gay men are filthy. Big love.
Love
They are
Grindr.
filthy. You know.
Love Grindr.
Love Grindr.
I think an app where it vibrates in your pocket when there's another gay guy nearby, I think that's an invention.
That is fucking brilliant.
I think that's just innovative.
Right.
It should work for kinky people as well.
No. Light bulb moment. Okay. Right. Okay. No, you're actually right. Tell me if I'm just being a fucking stoner here. We take the Grindr interface of buzzing when you're nearby, right? Applying it to profiles, but it's for subs looking to be owned. It only buzzes when they mate your preferences. You know what I mean? You've preset, and it then sets a location nearby that is a coffee shop or something for you guys to go and have like a first date chat. You know, and you can either accept or not, right? So it's not about getting kinky off the bat, but finding people on common principles near you.
Yeah.
I think that would be brilliant. You know, and if you're busy, then it could give you an option to be like, no, I can't meet now, but same location, different time, you know, or exchange numbers. Do you know what I mean? There would be little options there, but the point would be is to make sure we could keep it safe. You know what I mean? And have it orientated around you actually sitting down with the person and having a conversation. You know, I would want it to end up there. It would push you to a place where you sit in a safe public space and you chat to the person off the bat and you figure it out.
Because the problem is with Tinder, when you talk to someone on Tinder for a first date, it can either be within the next hour, the next day, the next week, or the next month.
When I get back from Peru on my gap year.
Yeah.
And then, sorry, when they tell you that, oh, I'm going away on holiday, hit me back when I get back.
No, thank you. You probably got chlamydia.
Yeah. And such, right, am I hitting you up to go on a date, or was this actually a hookup? Because there was mixed vibes. So am I hitting you up to date you? Because that's a completely different approach, or is it, yo, you're back, let's...
I mean, I'm not being funny. If someone said to me, hit me up when I'm back off holiday, no, I'm alright, thanks, mate.
Oh yeah, I just admit to that. I'm nobody's sloppy second, man.
Like, oh, okay, sorry, you just gone to Magaluf with the lads. Oh, absolutely fine. I tell you what, I hope you come back with chlamydia.
Oh, we definitely will.
Oh yeah.
Or at the very least, something itchy.
Magaluf was the worst holiday I ever had.
You went to Magaluf?
Yeah.
Oh my god, you are so basic. We
This
need to
was
spank this out of you.
Oh, don't. Oh. But this was like this was my basic bitch era. Do you know what the worst thing on Magaluf? I needed like a holiday when I came back from it. I needed like a 3-day break in Centre Parks in the spa. It was so bad. I hated every single moment of it. Like, it was horrible.
Oh my god, that is the class divide. I have never heard someone say the words, I need a 3-day break, followed by at Centre Parks at the spa, when they're sort of describing an ideal situation.
Yeah.
Damn.
Centre Parks
Oh
are
my
a nice
god, I love
bar.
it. Shout out to Centre Parks. Maybe they'd like to sponsor us.
No, there's no point because they're kicking. They were. So, did you hear about Centre Parks in the news this week? Just to.
No, I didn't.
So, obviously, everyone's shut. Like loads of places are shutting for the funeral tomorrow. The Queen, right? R.I.P. Lizzie, by the way. You know.
Toke one out for Lizzie. Having a puff right now. This one's for you, sweetheart.
We had a wank for Lizzie as well.
We did.
We should.
Separately, to be clear, we were in different countries, but we synced up and we we flicked the bit. You flicked the bean. I tossed one up for Lizzie.
Oh no, I never flick it. I just put a zzz on it.
All right. Yeah. Well, you zizz the bean.
Zizz the bean.
Zizz the bean.
Fried my clit off.
You know. I massaged the tip for you, Liz.
Oh.
I was thinking of Andrew when I did it. Oh no, it was Pizza Express. I'm woking.
I think. Anyway,
I did not have sex with that woman.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Do you know what, Bill? I don't care if you did, mate. I'm really not all that interested, to be honest. You were a good president.
All right.
Alright.
Yeah, well, he is married to a lizard. That's concerning. No. Hey, there are crazier conspiracies out there, people. Stay active.
There's crazier things out there.
You know.
I forgot what the point of this was.
You were saying Centre Parks closed tomorrow.
Oh, yes.
No bueno.
Yeah, sorry. So Centre Parks decided, originally their plan was that they were going to close tomorrow and turf out all of their guests for 24 hours.
Wait, fuck off. No.
Genuinely. They were
Seriously?
going to make all of their guests leave their houses, lodges, whatever, for 24 hours. They've now changed that to the point where guests can still stay in their lodges, but they're shutting most of the on-site facilities.
Why wasn't that the immediate option from the first place? What the fuck are these people? These fascists, right?
The thing is, so there's a couple of Centre Parks dotted around the world. There's
Right, pipes. Ease up
the
there.
UK.
Ease up there, Bedford.
Don't know why.
Fucking ease up. I like that you're thinking big, but
yeah, there's a
small pond, my love.
There's a couple of Centre Parks dotted around the UK. One of them in particular is a 20-minute drive from me. Woven Centre Park's very, very pretty, everything like that. Now, if you've driven, I don't know, say for example you've driven from Wales and you just paid for a really nice 3-day break for you and your kids and your wife and everything like that. You've driven from fucking Wales to Woburn. You'd be pissed off. You've got to leave for 24 hours.
Right. I'm honestly flabbergasted.
At that point, you'd be like, fuck it, I'm cutting the trip early, I'm going to go home.
You just leave automatically, right?
You would, wouldn't you?
To be honest, I'd even leave when they reversed it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'd be like, nah, we're done.
Principle, you were going to shut. You were going to kick me out.
You were going to kick me out. We are done. The fact that you put that on the table shows who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You're never getting my business again. I was literally, before you said that, I was literally about to say, could we start renting out Centre Parks in the off seasons for swingers clubs? Now that I've got that information, fuck you, Centre Parks. I'm going to do it myself. All right,
Centre Parks are the worst employer to work for.
We're going to do slightly to the left parks. All right, I'm coming for you. Let's figure out who the Centre Parks CEO is. Right, I'm sending the Centre Parks CEO a message. Right, I'm going to figure that out. Stay tuned. Check the TikTok. We'll get it vibing.
But yeah, that was like a big thing on the news.
What could we do to the Centre Parks CEO?
Tie him up, beat him.
I was talking about sending him a giant dildo. You're talking about GBH, right? That's why I keep you around. Again, the class divide.
Well, no, this is what we were talking about earlier. We were talking about the film Legend,
right?
And how I am Ronnie Cray.
You really are. You really are, and not necessarily in a good way, all the way around. But I love you and never change.
Hey, look, if someone's fucking with you at the pub, who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters.
Oh, I'll be straight in your DMs. I'll just send you an Uber. I'll be like, and you'll whip up you'll swing round in the whip, handbrake drive it into the fucking bouncers. Yeah. Just fucking get out of the way.
I'll be on the bike. What are you talking about? They hear me coming.
Fucking straight down.
I'll be on the Harley. They'll hear me coming.
Just walk straight up to the door, flash your tits. Don't have time to fuck around, boys. Move. Fucking straight in.
No, do you know what I'll do? No, I'm just gonna go in there, do a John Wick, and just open my coat and say, "Look, knives and guns there."
Knives and guns, bitch. Knives and guns. Do you know what I mean? Knives and guns. Yeah,
I'll have my knuckle dusters on.
100%. You are exactly the person I would call. Hey, it's the it's the scene from The Town, right?
Yeah, that's.
Hey, I'm going to ask you to hurt some people. Don't ask questions.
You can't ask me about it later.
Exactly.
Whose car we're gonna take? That's literally
We're taking the Defender.
taking the Defender.
Taking the Defender.
Gonna change the plates though.
100%. No, actually, you know what? We probably need we need a couple of throwaway cars.
No, do you know it's really easy. All you have to do is just be at the scene with one number plate, get 2 miles out of the zone, and then change the plates.
Change the plates.
It's easy.
No, but okay, look, I'm thinking about having vehicles that are completely separate to ours, though, that we could like roll around in with some gear and burn if necessary. Do you know what I mean? I'm talking like, not necessarily theft to acquire them, but we could work out something. You know, do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about, you know, the same way you can have like throwaway guns, you know, like untraceable ones, sort of like disposable vehicles we can sort of rock up with, and there's some tools in the back, and we can sort of just get business done. To be clear, I'm not referencing the Centre Park CEO here. You know, we're going to do something non-violent to the Centre Park CEO, to be explicitly clear for legal purposes. You know, no harm will come to Centre Parks or their CEO. At some point, we will launch Slightly to the Left Parks.
Yeah.
We will trademark that if someone hasn't already, or we'll find something equally fuck you Centre Park.
No, it needs to be called Slightly to the Left Gardens.
I love that. See? Right, okay. I'm going to give a little backstory before I compliment you there. When we came off the train today, I was like, right, I'm chief of vision, you're chief of execution. This is why we work so well together, right? Because that's fucking brilliant. That's 100% better. I have these ludicrous, ridiculous ideas that most people wouldn't even quantify how they would work. And she just goes, yeah, okay, right, and just gets it done way better than I ever could.
Like we were talking about stuff, we were talking about using them. So one thing that we were talking about was...
Oh my god, you are the uterus to my intellectual semen.
That really unlocks the breeding kink.
Oh my god, no, because you are, because I have these really, like, I have like 3 million ideas, so there's like a bunch of intellectual spunk. And then you take that, and then you make idea babies out of the right ones.
Swallow it and put it in the brain.
That's, oh my god, okay. That's way worse.
I feel like I'm on a roll today with taking things a little
I'm so
too far.
sorry, people.
So to give it some context, I'm taking things too far today. We were in a store earlier, and on the wall, we were in basically just emo chick heaven, essentially.
Oh my god, we were both drooling, and we were like bitches in heat.
I was just like a kid in a candy store.
You were, your eyes were popping.
I'm slowly going back to the old version of me, which is like witchy sort of gothic Gina, and it's great. With like my white hair and all black and everything like that, and it's fucking great. So I was a kid in a candy store. Yeah,
I took Gina to Glasgow for the first time today. She's never been. Glasgow's home, you know. Excuse me. All my family, you know, are from there. Lived there as a boy, so know it very well. And there's a particular street just as you come off Argyle, going into George Square, where there's about 6 shops in a row that are just perfect for us as human beings. You know. You've got what we call the emo store. Yeah. You've then got the hippy dippy store. Yeah. Then you've got Fat Buddha on the other side.
Yeah. That was a cool shop.
Cass Art as well. Yeah. Amazing shop for your art supplies. Then you've got Geekaboo back on the other side. And then little tip, you've got the exchange place Starbucks on the left round the corner. Great to sit up there. But nevertheless, we went through all of these stores.
Found some really great stores. Also Tokyo.
Well, not found. I showed you some really great stores.
Well, so we went to. For anyone out there who likes anime, I found a Tokyo Toys in Glasgow. I was so happy.
Oh, you were running around.
He had to take me out. He was like, "We can come back." We didn't come back.
Literally, we were in there for an extended period of time.
We were in. I would just.
It was the first place we went as well. We were actually walking to go get food, and you were like, "Ooh,
oh, Tokyo Toys!" I got really excited.
Dude. And then you started like shitting on their collection.
I did start shit. Well, okay, so you can't have book collections and have 2 onwards.
No, that's fair, but what if you've sold all of the ones? You're not going to take the 2s and the 3s off until you get more 1s in. How about you pipe down? There's world shipping issues and shit, you know what I mean? These were friendly people, they welcomed us in, they were all a little bit weird, but lovely people, and you're in there like openly, quite loudly mouthing them, you know, from the south. You know, that's all I'm saying is, maybe you're getting a little bit too big for your boots, alright? Yeah, maybe you need to, you know, we need to get you a man to keep you in check. Bottom line, you know, there's no one I can refer to keep you in line. You know, maybe I need to speak to Tobin. Tobin? Right, tell you what, is that not what your dad's name is? Toby. Oh, I was close enough.
Close enough.
Oh, I'm sorry, Toby. I've never met the man. You know, I've only heard his name in reference, but Toby, you need to keep your woman in line. And from what I hear, you also need to keep your wife in line. You know, and from the way Gina describes it, you might not have the tools to do that. Seems like you're slightly a beta male, and that's absolutely fine, man. Lovely man, provides for his family. Gina says that all round you're a pretty good bloke. But when it comes to your wife, it seems like...
Gives me 50 quid.
Yeah, 100%. But you know...
Oh, that was the other thing. I was in a store.
His wife's buying like Mulberry bags every weekend and flogging them off as fucking... You know, flogging them off as... Oh, Gina told me this. Her mum is buying fucking bags, right, new today, bringing them into the house. And when Toby is like, oh... When did you get that one? She's like, oh, I got it 3 years ago at a charity shop for 60 quid. Yeah. And he's like, oh, wonderful. You know, I haven't seen that in a while. Because he's a good husband. Or a beta male, as they're known. And she's fucking flogging it off.
Yeah.
You know? So, Toby, you need to fucking organise your house, son.
Great.
You know? You're the Targaryens. You're all over the place. You've got you know, you're getting passed around like Daenerys. Oh. We need to get you one of, what were they called? The Jason Momoa. We need to get you a Jason Momoa.
I need a Jason Momoa. So I perfectly described what I wanted earlier. And it's one of those things. Outside in the world, I'm probably quite a confident person in terms of the way that I come across to people, especially at work, right? Very, very confident.
We never got snacks.
We never did get snacks.
Fuck.
Son of a fucking bitch.
This is slightly problematic.
Can we Uber anything?
The garage is just closed. Like, it's 10:03 right now. The garage closes at 10. God damn it.
Motherfucker.
Oh, we can probably Uber something or we'll figure something.
Well, something like, we haven't got much longer of this episode, I think, anyway.
It's absolutely fine.
But anyway, I was getting onto Jamal. I was like, what I want. And essentially, what I would like is that I want a man who will basically simp over me.
Oh, still makes me chuckle.
Will simp over me, will absolutely just worship the ground that I walk on. But as soon as we are in our own space, as soon as we are in our own home, I'm on my knees. And I'm submissive. You know?
You want him to be the supporting act in the character and story you're putting out there to the world.
Yeah.
Which I think can be done.
Yeah.
I think you can find a nice guy. Treats you right. Treats you like a queen.
I want someone that I can adore and they also adore me back.
And then like the handmaid.
Yeah.
Treat me like the queen in the streets and the handmaid in the sheets.
Oh yeah.
Put that on a fucking t-shirt. See, chief of vision, Gina.
Yeah. I've now got to put it on a t-shirt as
You've
the
now
chief
got to get
of
that sorted.
execution.
You've got to put that on everything.
Yeah.
Balloons.
Yeah.
Billboards. How much could it cost to rent a billboard? I see these signs all the time, like, would you like to advertise here? You know, it's very cheap. And
Clearly no one's using them.
Yes, I would. Yes, I would, Gina. Again, chief of vision. I would actually like you to look into that, how we can do, like, guerrilla-style marketing, but just putting, like, ridiculous stuff up everywhere.
Do you know, I really want to fuck with people on Instagram with their ads.
Oh, that would be great.
Like, I'm going to guerrilla market everybody, because, like, so with Instagram marketing, you can target people, so you can target age ranges, you can target locations, you can do all of that kind of stuff. Fuck it.
Oh, so you're telling me that we could, like, rock up in a town or a city, put loads of stuff up, target ads on all their social media as well, just in that city, and just, like, plaster them everywhere.
Yeah. Okay. The best way I can describe this, so when I worked at a company that looks like the Range and Home Bargains but isn't the Range or Home Bargains, and it's like MMB but backwards. So when I worked for that particular company, I worked in a warehouse. Down the road from us was a place called Schmazda. Big Schmazda warehouse. Right opposite the Ainsley Harriet. Just like that one sinking, if you get that one. And what happened was that Schmazda were laying off a load of their people just after Christmas. And I found that out. Me being me, I printed off a fuck ton of flyers with my number on it and my email address and everything like that, and I just went round and plastered people's cars in the car park at Asda.
That's genius.
Yeah.
That's genius.
Guerrilla marketing.
100%. Well,
and in that week I recruited, the 2 weeks after, I recruited 160 people.
Damn girl.
She was busy.
She busy. Okay, here's a question for you, Chief of Execution. How much would it cost to paper, let's say, Old Town, central Edinburgh? Just as an example for size, you know what I mean? Like, I'm talking about like papering with leaflets. Are you really on your phone?
Sorry, no, I was looking at Uber. You talked about snacks, and I'm like, I'm a little stoned now, so the snacks is starting to kick in.
I love that. Beautiful. Beautiful. I can't actually complain. Crack on. But right, so how much would it cost to, like, do like a... Right, okay, let's not talk about it in that sense. How much would it cost to hire a team of, like, 10 people to work for us for the day? Do you mean to go around and, you know, do menial, like guerrilla market for us, right? Because we print everything out and get everything for them, we just hire people and be like, right, go and do this. Can that be done?
Yeah.
How much would that cost us, ballpark? Like, I just want to get a sense of, like, figure on one day, so then I know for scale. 10 people for a day.
10 people for a day. We'll probably want £100 a day for that kind of stuff. So, 10 grand. No, that's wrong.
See, this is why this. Right, okay, asterisk, and this is why I handle the vision and the money.
Yeah.
You handle the people.
Yeah, no, but a grand.
A grand.
A grand, yeah.
That's very... Right, so a grand for labour, 500 quid for materials.
Yeah.
A grand even, say, for materials. We go, Cesty. How much for marketing on social media? How much do ads cost?
Probably social media, probably we're talking a couple hundred across.
Okay, what if we just did triple? We did a grand on each.
Oh, we could get a lot. Social media marketing for a grand, we could get a lot.
Okay.
I'm putting it on Indeed. LinkedIn jobs.
Yeah, everywhere.
I'm gonna plaster.
No, genuinely,
all over my
plug
LinkedIn.
everywhere. I'm talking like local news show. Like how much do they cost? Like,
Oh, I have
like
no
can we call it? You
idea.
know what I mean? Like anything and everything. We could just go across the board. Okay, right. Okay, well, we might not be able to get an ad on the radio, but we could definitely send them cupcakes with filthy stuff on them
Oh, yeah.
and our business on it and a little card about us in the morning, right? Send them pastries and plaster
Little
the
basket of
city.
mini muffins.
Again, have our lackeys go out and we can bake them ourselves. You know what I mean? Keep it like
Yeah.
that can't be that difficult.
Mm-mm.
Do you know what I mean? And we could, right. This is interesting. This is very interesting. Where, right? Do you think we should do somewhere like London though, and just like get it going?
No.
No, you think it's better to be a little bit off
Yeah.
and then get picked up?
Yeah.
Yes, I do agree. Where do you think is the best place to start? Where do you think people are kinky?
Those Manx are well kinky.
Ooh, and they do love a good,
Yeah.
you know, gorilla. They're good,
Yeah.
very good. Yeah, that's brilliant actually. And I do like Manchester. Yes. Ooh,
Dude, she's a genius.
she's a fucking genius. And so we just
Hey,
plaster man.
Mum, I'm a fucking genius.
Oh my goodness, I love it. So what would you like to do on the ground in the real world? So I was just talking as flyers as an example. But what do you think would be good to sort of bomb the city with? Metaphorically, to be clear. NSA, calm yourselves. As you know, I'm harmless. I'm a bit twisted and weird, but I'm harmless. Alright? So easy.
Still up for debate.
You step to me, bruv. You pipe down there, you filthy bitch. All right, you stay.
Say it again.
You stay steady.
Say it again. It sounded
Right.
good.
Keep you around for a reason now. Give me guerrilla marketing ideas.
Guerrilla grip
Execute.
So
Fucking
she-
t-shirt.
That's what I got. No,
T-shirt.
don't.
Want that on panties? Gorilla
Gorilla-
pussy panties.
Yeah, gorilla grip pussy.
GPPs.
Oh, how would we guerrilla market Manchester? Okay, best thing about Manchester, electronic billboards. Everywhere. In shopping centres. You know, like in shopping centres, like in the middle, you get like that map and stuff like that, and it also has ads going around on it as well.
Oh. Interesting.
Like that. a lot of places like coming in and out of sort of Manchester and stuff like that, they have like the electronic billboards on their bypasses and stuff. They'd be really good.
Ooh. I like it. Oh, here's an idea. Here's a great idea.
Okay.
Right? We make a list of people that we want to get this in front of and have them listen to, not just this specifically, but the podcast in general, right? And we send them an iPod shuffle.
Oh my god, yes.
And a little set of headphones and a note that says open after listening.
Yeah.
And it's a set of clips of us talking, right? Their shit. And then a little blurb about us. And we get that in the hands of, you know, an iPod shuffle. You could probably get one on eBay for 15-30 quid, right?
Yeah.
10 of those isn't, 300 quid. 20 of those 600 quid. That's,
Yeah.
or something equivalent. That's not undoable, as well as the wider blast we could do by direct mail, as well as email, other stuff. But I feel like that sort of thing would be interesting. I also feel like building Lego models of like sex dungeons.
Yes.
And putting little USBs in them or something like that. And
Get
like
my brother to do it. My brother's great with Lego.
100%. Let's get him in on it. And having them delivered to offices.
Yeah.
Like newspapers and shit like that. And just like let's get people talking.
That's home.
Interesting. Daddy's home. Time to get dick wet.
Put the kid to bed. Get my dick wet.
Kid to bed. Kitten to the floor. Put that on a doormat. We got a bob, we got a zig, we got a zag.
Right.
Oh my god, could we do mops that are like branded and have like dildos at the end?
Yeah. Oh, I've got a brand to show you on TikTok. You'll fucking love it.
Do you? I love it.
Yeah, it's a really fun. Like they just make really like funny like stuff. Like they make like these glass mugs, and I really want one that's got a vibrator on it.
Ooh.
Love it.
Interesting. I like that. Right, I feel like since you mentioned Uber Eats, I feel like we should investigate that, because if that's a no-go, we might be best to bus it into town to go get some snacks. So we should start to get active. I feel like that's probably a good space to wrap it up. We've probably traumatised the world enough with this. What was our sign-off again? We should really write this down.
We need to write this down.
We really do. For now, it'll be stay high, stay horny, because that's all I can remember.
No, and then you're going to do it in different accents.
Oh, I was indeed.
Stay high, stay horny. That was supposed to be an Irish bit.
That was supposed to be an Irish.
Yeah, I can't. When I get in my Irish accent, I can't really do it.
No, I can't. Oh fuck, I'm a bit wobbly. What can I do? What accents come into mind?
I can do my really good Irish.
Oh my goodness, Gina.
You did this last.
Gina, did they ever tell you back in the home country in Africa, we have a phrase: stay high, stay horny. Don't give me that look, you absolute bitch.